Week 7 waiver wire. And at the end, I'll talk about my new hat and the rough night for my Bucs. Let's get it started. Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. Russell Wilson. Yes, I'm an adult. I can admit when I'm wrong. I missed on this one. I did not expect him to play well against the Jets. Played very well. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Goes up against the New York Giants, which the defense is pretty solid for the Giants. But I think that the Steelers defense should get them in great field position, which will lead to a positive game for Russell Wilson. It's a solid grab. And I think he keeps the job for a little bit. They got a bye coming up after this week, so they'll do an evaluation if he plays well or poorly next week. Moving on. Next up, Drake May. I was telling you to pick him up last week, and I told you to start him as a sleeper. If you did, you benefited from it. Drake May has been pretty solid. Back-to-back games with 20 or more fantasy points. Back-to-back games with 2 or more passing touchdowns. Let's go. Grab your Drake May. Good for you, Patriots. It's not leading to wins yet, but I think you got a guy. These next 3 I'm a little more about. Aaron Rodgers. He was okay against the Steelers, but the Steelers should be better than the New England Patriots. Not super excited about this one. I actually like his matchup the following week better than this week. This week coming up, he goes up against the New England Patriots after the coaches called him soft. Jameis Winston is a solid flyer. He might throw a lot of picks, but he loves to sling it. And with Deshaun Watson going down, I think he's going to get that job. Marcus Mariota is a flyer. If Jaden Daniels does miss time, I actually think he's going to be a good play. If he had a better matchup, I think really good play, but they're going up against the Chicago Bears, and the Bears have been a good defense. Check to see if these guys are out on your waiver wire. Yes, I know in your league, none of these guys are going to be available. That's fine. Keep scrolling. For the rest of y'all, check to see if these guys are out there, please. Caleb Williams. He's had 2 or more touchdowns 3 of the last 4 weeks, and his next 2 matchups are the Commanders and the Cardinals. You're going to want him. He's only rostered in 65% of leagues. Geno Smith, even though he lost DK Metcalf, I'm not sure how long that'll be out, but Geno's been solid. And Tua Tagovailoa was dropped in a lot of leagues. So if he's out there and you're desperate for a quarterback, I think that Tua is going to come back firing. The Dolphins desperately need him. Are you having a rough time at running back? Don't worry, I got you. Tank Bigsby is only rostered in 52% of leagues. If he is out there on your waiver wire, grab him immediately. My man had over 20 carries for over 100 yards and 2 of them things. Now, I think that came down to game script. If the team is up, they're definitely going to be running the ball more, so I think that leads to him running more. But in general, the team is showing that they trust him, and Travis Etienne is not able to stay on the field right now. He had like -1 yards. That's wild. Alexander Mattison is very involved in this offense, and I definitely think he's worth a grab. Rostered in less than 50% of leagues. My man had 90 yards last week, and he caught the ball 3 times. That's what I'm talking about. If you're desperate for a running back, I think you can start him up. And because there's been so many injuries lately, I'm going to list off a bunch of handcuffs y'all should probably just have on your roster in case somebody goes down. Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren, Braylon Allen, Ray Davis, Justice Hill, Sean Tucker, Tyler Goodson, and I guess Trey Sermon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jermichael Hasty. If any of these were your handcuffs, go after that one first. If any of these starters go down, these guys get increased work, especially the first 4 I mentioned. Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren, Braylon Allen, Ray Davis. They're all quasi-useful right now, but if the starter goes down, oh yeah, you're going to want to already have them on your roster because you're going to spend a lot of fab trying to grab them. Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. So you can thank me now. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. We got a lot of question marks at wide receiver this week. Brandon Ayuk may be out for the year. Deebo Samuel was just in the hospital, so we don't know when he's going to play. So basically, the 49ers wide receiver position is wide open. You already know about Juwan Jennings. Grab him if he's on the wire. A couple other names to look out for. Rookie Ricky Pearsall, first-round draft pick. I think they're going to want to get him involved. Also, side note, this dude was shot before the season. Wild. He's back playing football. Hope he plays well. And Jacoby Cowing. He's available everywhere, but he may get involved. More of a flyer. Keon Coleman had a blow-up game, and he's on over 50% of rosters. You can pick him up. I'm still concerned about consistency, but the talent's there. Speaking of consistency, Romeo Doubs has another good game. My man had 10 targets. The Green Bay Packers wide receiver core, it just fluctuates. One week is this guy, next week is the other guy. They can all have good weeks, just not at the same time. They go up against Jacksonville Jaguars this week. I think they sling it. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost Mike Evans for who knows how long with the hamstring, and Chris Godwin for probably the year. I'll get into that more at the end. Right now, I'm going to stick to the waiver wire. I don't want to derail us right now. the show must go on. Jalen McMullen had the third most targets on the team with 8. I think he slides in and becomes more useful. We also have Sterling Shepard and Trey Palmer. Just because our wide receivers are down does not mean Baker's going to stop slinging it. I think he's going to sling it. I just think the people he's going to throw it to are going to be less talented, meaning they won't make as many big plays. But these guys are still solid. They're quality wide receivers. Sterling Shepard's been around for a minute. Not on the Bucs, but he's been around for a minute. And McMillan is still getting his feet wet, as well as Trey Palmer, but they show promise. Season's not over, but a rough night. Moving on before I go down a rabbit hole. With Amari Cooper being gone, Jerry Jeudy should see more work, as well as Cedric Tillman. The kid had 12 targets. He was drafted last year. They don't really have many options, so they're going to see what the kid's got. 3 more receivers that I like. Jalen Tolbert, people might have dropped him because they were on bye. Plus, he's only rostered in 21% of leagues. I still think he's going to be the wide receiver 2 on this team. Got to see when Brandon Cooks comes back, though. Rashad Bateman absolutely popped off tonight. Of course, he happened to be going up against me. It didn't really matter because I won by 30. But, actually, correction, won by 54. But he popped off. I think he's worth an ad. And Allen Lazard is Allen Lazard. He could always get a touchdown. And Juju Smith-Schuster burned me last week. I had started him in 2 leagues. Get better, Juju. I still think he's worth having on your roster. I'm obviously going to keep him. Just won't start him until I know he's healthy. Moving on to the tight end position. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry. I got you. Cade Otton becomes very necessary now that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are down. They're going to need some reliable people to throw the ball to. And Cade Otton's going to be one of those guys. I'm pretty sure he had 10 targets tonight. That's probably going to continue. Next up, Hunter Henry. The tight end is a rookie's best friend. Easy targets. He had 9 last week. I think he's going to stay a main target in this offense. Fire him up. Zach Ertz. I like this one more if Jaden doesn't play. Marcus Mariota seems to like to go to his tight end a little bit more. I think he's playable either way, but probably better with Mariota. If Tua doesn't play this week, Jonnu Smith has a chance to pop off again. He went 7 for 7 for 96 yards and a touchdown. What? I guess if you can't get it to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, you can get it to Jonnu Smith. Wild. This list is longer than usual. Will Disley had 11 targets, turning into 8 receptions, 81 yards. Love the amount of work he was getting. I guess if you're not going to get any wide receivers, you should throw it to your tight end. And if you're desperate, Jatavion Sanders, he went 6 for 6. But please, check to make sure that Mark Andrews is not on your waiver wire. If he is, obviously grab him immediately. He was dropped in 15% of leagues. So just check. Odds are he's not out there, but you should check. A little more available, Tucker Kraft. The tight end position is up and down, but I still think that he's going to be a viable tight end in a high-powered offense. He should be rostered in more than 50% of leagues. Moving on to the defense. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry. I got you. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to eat the Raiders alive. It's a divisional matchup, so it should be lower scoring. And I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to win by 40, but what I am saying is this defense should do work. You get Gardner Minshew, no Devontae Adams. You may or may not have Jacoby Myers. Yeah, you can expect some sacks in this one. Probably a pick, probably a fumble. And they're rostered in less than 50% of leagues. That's what happens when you play the 49ers. Next, the Detroit Lions. What do I always tell you? Follow the bad offenses. They face the Tennessee Titans. Titans suck. But backup quarterback. Fire up your Detroit Lions. Next up, the LA Chargers. Going up against the New Orleans Saints with a backup quarterback who does not look ready or prepared for prime time. Obviously, fire them up. Next up, the Houston Texans. They get to face a division rival in the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts absolutely suck. Especially if Jonathan Taylor is out. I don't know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. I got to look into this injury more, but why was this man not on IR? He has been out for forever. Anyways, back to the subject. It's getting late and I'm tired. The Houston Texans, Anthony Richardson is just not good yet. He didn't play a lot in college, hasn't played a lot in the NFL because he's been hurt. He's just going to take some time to grow and learn. He's got the physical traits to be a fantastic quarterback. He just ain't there yet. And until then, fire up your defenses against him. Because he can throw a deep ball. I will admit this. He can definitely throw a deep ball and he can run. But he was injured all last year and he's already been banged up this year. So he might be slightly hesitant to run like Michael Vick. And he keeps turning the ball over. So I don't know if he's going to just sling it downfield nonstop. And if he does, he'd probably get a couple picks. And the Green Bay Packers defense is just really good. I do think that the Jacksonville Jaguars will get better over time, but this Green Bay defense is just really good against the quarterback position, and I think they can have themselves a day. Jaguars are not elite. I'd like to think they're better than they are, but they're really just not. And the Packers are. Jair Alexander is one of them dudes. Fire up your Green Bay Packers. And I know these guys are not available in your league. Of course, your league is the most elite of elite leagues. No one ever drops any good players. I get it. But for the 22% of people that have them available, go get the Broncos right now. They face the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers suck. The Broncos are really good at defense. This is going to be a problem. And if y'all didn't like that last one, you're not going to like this one either. The Baltimore Ravens, available in 26% of leagues. I know that's not a lot, but you should still... And let me know down in the comments if you find any of these defenses. Because they play the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns just lost to Deshaun Watson, which ironically could actually make them better. But I still think they're pretty bad. So fire up your Ravens. So that's the waiver wire. I got a couple other things that I want to talk to you about. Start on a positive note. This super sick hat. My fiance got this for me when she went to Colombia. She also got this cool bracelet. Hold on, I got a couple more hats. So we got this one, which is a slightly darker version of this one. You see? Hey. And then this one, which is a completely different style, and I feel like it's a, what's it called, a fedora? I don't know, but it's fly. Looking fly, looking fly. I am. All right, so out of these 3 hats, which one's your favorite? We're gonna number them. One on my head is 2, and then this one's 3. The lighter one is 3. All right. Let me know down in the comments which one you like more. I'm sure y'all are just going to roast me for some reason, but let me know. Now that we've talked about the positives, let's talk about my Bucs. Not only do we lose to the Baltimore Ravens at home, it was going to be a hard-fought match anyways, but Mike Evans comes up with a hamstring injury. Oh my gosh. And it looked like it hurt a lot. Watching my dog Mike Evans go down like that, oh, I'm sad, not gonna lie. I mean, obviously, I got a jersey. I actually have multiple Mike Evans jerseys. That's my dude. Been a Bucs fan for years now, born and raised in Tampa, so this one hits home. This is tough. Love Mike Evans. He was able to walk off the field, though, so that was good, but it only goes downhill from here. Oh, my God. So I don't know if Baker was rattled watching Mike Evans be hurt, but he immediately threw a pick after that. And then the game kind of went down from there. But I'll give it to my boys. We fought back. Baker was doing his best to sling that thing. He was trying to have us come back. Got an onside kick, which I never see happen. That was wild. Our running backs did work. And then at the end of the game, what was it, like the last, I don't know, 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes. I'm losing track. What time is it? It's 1:30 in the morning. My dog Chris Godwin goes down to an ankle injury, and it does not look good. One of my favorite doctors on Twitter, on YouTube, Jesse Morris, he's really good. Doesn't have good news for me, but I trust him. He's been great so far. So, Jeffrey, can you read this out for me, please, and take me off the screen?
Yes, sir. Chris Godwin looks like a left ankle fracture. I'll discuss on a video soon for at Injury Experts. I expect it to be season-ending.
My Bucs were looking so good. Baker Mayfield was slinging it. Mike Evans was doing his Mike Evans, getting touchdowns, being a baller. Chris Godwin was incredible for fantasy. He was going nuts. Shout out to my dog Chris Godwin. I really like him, obviously. He was here when we won the championship with Tom Brady. He may not be on the team next year. I'm pretty sure this was a contract year, and he's going to be a free agent next year, and he's going to want to get paid, obviously. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I'd like to keep him, but I don't know how much he's going to cost and all that stuff, and I'm too emotionally drained right now to even contemplate how much that would cost or any of that stuff. Honestly, I'm really just focused on, I just want my dudes to get better, man. I love Chris Godwin, and I love Mike Evans. They are, I mean, I'm a Bucs fan. I mean, they're great. I've watched them play for years now, and injuries suck. I feel like this year's had a bunch of injuries, just so many injuries, like left and right. And to have 2 of your guys go down on the same night is wild. For Chris Godwin to happen so late in the game with like 30 seconds left. And it did not look good. It did not look good. I do think that the Bucs will bounce back. I think we'll still be competitive this year. We'll be fighting for the division. We still have a terrible division. The Panthers suck. The Saints don't normally suck, but their quarterback situation is wild right now. So I'd say we're still probably better than them. And then it comes down to the Falcons, who, I mean, Falcons got a lot of talent, but they're really not putting it together a lot. So I don't know. I just want my dudes to get healthy. Rough. If we got any Bucs fans, throw some comments in the bottom. Let me know how you're coping. If you've lost anybody in fantasy football this year or on any of your teams, sorry, man. I'm sorry. It sucks. Let me know down in the comments. I got to do my whole comments thing. I got to get my engagement up. Let me actually segue this. Now that I'm just yapping to a camera, I've been getting a lot more views lately, which has been really cool. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mike Williams, Fantasy Bay. If you're any of my fans, your name's Bay Nation. I got a lot of new followers. It's been really cool. Y'all have been super supportive. And I am actually starting to get a couple haters, which is kind of cool. People take time out of their day to hate on my stuff, which is lovely. But I want to do more talking to y'all about different things, not just straight business. Because I want to build a community, and I want to talk to y'all more about, I don't know, my thoughts on football, my personal stuff, like I was talking about the hats earlier, or the bracelet. I keep forgetting the name of stuff. I'm tired. It's 1:30 in the morning. You're not going to get this till tomorrow morning after you've had a nice night of sleep, but I'll edit and I'll post it. But yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm actually really excited. I got a lot of new segments. I got a lot of new grade stuff. I'm really looking forward to these coming weeks. Hopefully you are too. I hope that you won your fantasy league. And if you didn't, it's okay. I actually made a video last year talking about what you should do after week 7, depending on your record. I'm going to link it right up here, but it's really good. Now, I made it last year, so the names in the video are a little different, but the context of how you analyze your team and what moves you should make, that's still really good. It's really just the players that are outdated. I would really recommend watching that, because if you don't know what you should do based on your record, you really should check it out, because it's going to change pretty much how you manage your team. All right, I have rambled enough. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below. I got to get my engagement up, got to get my likes up, got to get my comments up. But at the end of the day, don't forget, I'm here for you, the people. I'll see you soon. Peace.